beginning to give up. Beggars can't be choosers. It was sign up with the Brits to salvage that maybe Spanish wreck or sell the boat. That would have destroyed Grandpa, I know, she finished tiredly. Larry, I advise small businesses, not past miracles. You should have called me before you signed that contract. We tried, but you were in the Yukon working with those native carvers. You got them going in a business, so we should be a piece of cake after that. Kate, please, you're our last hope. She closed her eyes and fought against what she was afraid was going to happen anyway. Hope? I don't know how you're putting diesel in the tank right now. Was your advance on expenses approved? Not yet. The Brits are sending C. Holden, some kind of fancy accountant, out to evaluate whether the dive is worth the advance. We're heading into the stormy season. Icy fingers tapped down her spine. I know about the storms in St. Vincent, she said tightly. So we're really under the gun. You'll find a way to convince this Holden dude that we're okay. You talk numbers better than anyone. Larry. I'm serious, he said quickly. You're brilliant. You're the only one who has a chance of getting this guy to agree to a stay of execution. Kate sighed and knew the trap was shut. When does he arrive? Tomorrow. I've timed your flight so that when you get here, you'll be able to bring him to the little house we rented at the beginning of the dive. I'll meet you there and take him to the Golden Bough. You don't even have to go on the water if you're still scared. Scared, she thought. What an easy word for cold sweat terrified. All right, she said in a rush before she lost her courage. I'll do it, but I'm not sleeping on the boat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can stay at the rented house. There's no room aboard anyway, what with the extra divers we hired. I'll even have someone leave a meal or two in the fridge so that... No longer really listening, she let out a cautious breath, relieved that she wasn't expected to stay aboard anything that floated. Or sank, in the case of the family business. Nothing she'd seen in the few hours she'd sorted through the invoices gave her any confidence that she could keep the company alive. Wages and air supplies, food and fuel, maintenance and debt service, and 1,000 other expenses drained the accounts. The Donnellys had poured 3 generations of work into a 70-foot hole in the water called the Golden Bough. And it had been her home until that terrible night. Don't think about it, she told herself fiercely. I already promised to go. Larry sounds like the weight of the world has been lifted off his shoulders. And you'll keep the Brits off our back, her brother all but sang. Nobody can baffle with numbers like you can. She started to protest, but her brother was still talking fast, relief in every syllable. She listened with half her attention while he made silly comments about her skill with numbers. It was good to hear something other than fear and defeat in his voice. Idly, she wondered what the rental was like. Grandpa Donnelly didn't waste money on anything having to do with land. I'm not diving, Kate said, when Larry paused for breath. You don't have to even come aboard unless you want to. Hell, sis, if you get in the water, then things will really have gone in the toilet. Things are already there. If you knew numbers, you'd understand that. Yeah, whatever. I promise you won't have to dive. Fine. I'll stay as long as I can, but no more than 2 weeks. 3 at the outside. You're the most incredible sister ever, Larry said. I booked space on a flight that leaves tomorrow morning at 9. I'll park the old pickup in the airport lot, with directions to the house. It has a dock, so it's easy to come and go from the ship. Kate looked at the phone. The fact that her brother had bothered to see to the details of her trip told her more than words how worried he had been. See you soon, sis. I love you. He hung up before she could say anything. Or change her mind. He and Grandpa Donnelly were so much the same that often it was scary, like looking in a mirror caught in time. Grandpa had been pulling treasure out of the water too long to have been just lucky, or smart, or canny. He had a generous helping of all 3. Larry had the luck in spades. Too bad our parents didn't share that luck, Kate thought sadly. Then she closed the door on the haunted past. There was no time to dwell on it. First, she had to call and make sure that Larry had followed through with the ticket. Her brother meant well, but the details of daily life quickly dissolved in the lure of diving. A call to the airport assured her that a ticket was waiting. The lock on the trap clicked shut. Don't think